Hey, Coach Candace here with a little lesson in the importance of label reading. This is not to determine like good food versus bad food or like what people might deem as bad, because at the end of the day, that's a story for a whole other topic, like in good versus bad foods, like that we don't label those. In other words, like I like to say it as like some foods support our goals more than others. But also too, just because, and I'll get to this at the end, like this is also to help you not succumb to marketing, because many times people think like they're making like healthier decisions or better decisions, but there's a possibility that they aren't. So at the end of the day, it's important to read nutritional labels. And this conversation was initiated through people brought in, they came back from a local race, and they brought home these like protein pucks. I guess they were left out as samples for people. And also note, this is not anything negative against Protein Puck, but just a product that drove home the example that you need to be reading your labels. And we kind of looked at it first from a macronutrient perspective, so looking at calories and then protein, carbs, and fats. And started looking at it, and because at face value, the front of the package says plant-based energy, and again, just in the name, protein pucks. So people like, oh well, it's because again, people talk about protein, like protein's all the rage. You see protein labeled on there, but really, how much protein does it have? So we actually broke it down here. So looking at this, again, it's circular shape, protein puck as it is. Each one of these has 320 calories. There's 9 grams of protein, 27 grams of carbs, and 19 grams of fat. And I want to say, just as conversation this morning, we joked and we said, oh, a McDonald's cheeseburger probably has more protein than that. So it got us curious, and we looked up. A McDonald's cheeseburger actually has less calories than the protein puck, 300. Actually does have more protein with 15 grams. Carbs a smidge higher with 31, but is actually lower in fat at 13. And just to add one more thing, because again, maybe this also came up when we talked about the Uncrustable. So an Uncrustable has 260 calories, which again is the lower calorie of the options. 8 grams of protein, so a smidge less than the rest of them. 31, which is the same as the cheeseburger, and then 13 grams of fat, which again is the same as the cheeseburger. So a couple of points like I want to drive home here, like number of calories matters. Yes, and I've done a video about this in the past, like one can still eat very healthy, but still be overeating relative to their energy demands. Like how active or sedentary are you? And again, it's a continuum that exists for everyone. So if you're someone who is like looking to just modify how many calories you eat overall, then your best bet is the Uncrustable. But now, number 2, though, we can't ignore, like, the quality of calories matters. Yes, when we look at pure quality of ingredients, yes, the protein puck is probably the best option for you. Ingredients, like it does have peanut butter, oats, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, coconut, almond, cranberries. Again, some of those are things that I eat very much on the regular. Like I often have sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds in my Greek yogurt, or what was the other one? I routinely have oatmeal as part of my pre-workout meal. So like quality ingredients do matter. And I want to say, like, there's a time and place for everything. I try to think, like, where would I fit this in personally for myself? Like, it was handed out at a race, and I want to say, yeah, it might suit me best for, like, a heavy cardio or a lifting activity where I needed something quick and high calorie, but not actually a lot of volume of food. I'd probably go for something like this. So, yeah, I probably would like this, before I run a 5K or a 10K. Or even after, to help promote recovery. So I want to say I'm not above choosing it. Would I choose it on the regular? No, because I could probably eat a lot more for that same calories without eating just one little item. A cheeseburger, I say I'm not gonna. Maybe I don't eat McDonald's as much, but I want to say, like, right? Does that hit the spot on occasion? Yes. I always joke with people, like, one of my favorite post-competition or post-race meals is the Wendy's Baconator. Again, I'm not sure if it's the salt or whatever it is, but it just hits the spot. But now, Right, if I was eating that on the regular, would I have the body that I want or perform in the way I want? Probably not. So again, even if somebody was choosing a low calorie approach, I probably wouldn't make a McDonald's cheeseburger one of my 300 calories. Uh, the Uncrustable, and again, I want to say another like competition day food. And again, that kind of comes down to like how food makes you feel, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Uh, I want to say a good competition meal that I like is a peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwich. Because in that moment, like you're looking for fast carbs and something that is generally going to be palatable and and interesting to you, because it's important for you to eat in that circumstance. So if it's something that doesn't taste good and it doesn't interest you and you're not going to eat it, then you might ultimately bonk in your race or your workout or whatever it might be. So it has to be something that you like. And here, if I was to choose between these three at a competition, although I'm not an Uncrustable fan, but again, I'd probably still go for my own peanut butter and jelly. So again, that might be the ideal food to go to in that circumstance. But again, like I talked about though, like how a food makes you feel matters. And right, like I think like if I was about to work out, like I don't know that a McDonald's cheeseburger is going to sit well in my belly before I'm about to do a workout. And some people might say like the protein puck might not agree with them either. And again, depends on their tolerance for some of those. But like sometimes people don't like a high fat food prior to working out. So that's what might make the Uncrustable the better option. But I want to say, and also something that again, like people get marketed to about is like this one's also labeled plant-based energy. So people almost always then assume like it's better for you. And again, a lot of times that comes down like to your personal preference and how you tolerate things. But just because it says plant-based energy does not necessarily mean that it's better for you. So I know that's a lot to say, but again, none of these is absolutely wrong, but it really comes down to the individual, what they're fueling for or not fueling for, and what their particular goals are, which makes any one of these right in any number of circumstances. But it does ultimately mean that, like, that's why it's so important to read labels, because I do feel like I meet some people who are like, geez, I started incorporating more protein bars into my day, and I don't know why I'm not losing weight, which again, like, your best bet is often like a whole food of some sort. But still, like I'm not gonna say I never eat a protein bar. Like I've been at the store and I've been hangry, but there's like they definitely exist on a wide scale of those that are better for you versus those that are not. And that's usually one of the main things is I look like, I'm not sure if there's any label requirements that deem something like protein. But yes, it does have protein, but not very much. And if anything, like I don't want to see the carbs outnumber the protein. So if anything, I would have preferred if that was flipped. And there are some better ones out there for you. But again, like quality ingredients over the rest. But at the end of the day, the number of calories matter. So I hope you found that helpful and breaking that down, because I can provide a lot of examples of this here. But that's why I like to break things out for the numbers. And again, this is not to deem any one food good or bad. But again, some foods supporting your goals differently than others depending on the circumstance, but also to help you be a more knowledgeable consumer and making more knowledgeable decisions regarding what you fuel your body with. So again, anytime you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If there's something else you'd like me to break down in this way, I'd love the opportunity to do it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.